listen to. Before I go ahead and get started, a couple of general rules of thumb. If you haven't already, go ahead and silence your cell phones now. Other than that, the fire exit, there is one over here in the case of a fire, in case we are cooking too hot up here. There's a fire escape over there, and then two handy-dandy doors that we just so happen to come through. Last but certainly not least, while we do have some wonderful, talented performers up here, we also get a little nervous, so if you're going to take any photos, please don't use any flash. We might have a tendency to run off stage if you do, but I digress. Am I forgetting anything? Is that it?
I think you're good.
Sick. All right, so regarding the piece that you just heard, moving right along, in case you haven't opened your programs yet, or check behind me here, the piece is called Xerxes by John Mackey. Now, Mackey, he listened to a couple of different marches, and he found a central theme with all of the marches that were really out there. They seemed to be these joyous marches that had sort of patriotic symbols in them as well, by and large, and he decided that he didn't want to do anything like that. So he decided to write what he called an anti-march. He wanted something that was scary, nasty sounding in his own words, and the subject of Xerxes is actually the perfect one to write an anti-march about. You see, Xerxes was a ruler, the king of Persia, from 485 to 465 BC. And he's made famous most notably for burning the city of Athens to the ground. So, real scary dude there. So that was Xerxes by John Mackey. Before I hand it over to Dr. Towner, I do just want to say, on behalf of my colleagues here at Georgia College, thank you so much for coming, and we hope you enjoy.
So the theme, as I wrote in the program, the theme of mirrors and windows is kind of about identity and emotion. And I tried working with the students to find some piece, whether it was through the composer or through the music itself, that they could see themselves in. And then obviously windows to see other people and differences and so forth and so on. So Cole, you chose Xerxes, didn't you?
I sure did.
So that's the music that speaks to Cole, which is great. I love it, and it's angry. So after all that anger and destruction, we're going to recoup from that a little bit with Julie Giroux's Under the Willow. Now, this song is not only about loss, but it's also about unity, which is really cool. So after the Civil War, obviously people were out, mostly women, tending to the dead and injured. And usually, if you were in the South, you were attending to the Confederate soldiers, and if you were in the North, you were attending to the Union soldiers. But a report was known that there was a group of women that was attending to both, and they found this unusual and wrote a story about it. And that inspired Frances Miles Finch to write the following poem, which this piece is about. By the flow of the inland river, whence the fleets of iron have fled, where the blades of grave grass quiver, asleep on the ranks of the dead. Under the sod and the dew, waiting the judgment day, under the one the blue, under the other the gray. These in the robbings of glory, those in the gloom of defeat, all but the battle blood gory, in the dusk of eternity meet. Under the sod and the dew, waiting the judgment day, under the laurel the blue, under the willow the gray. Here is Julie Giroux's Under the Willow. Hearts by Taj Copley, a composer that two of our students met last week. They were at an intercollegiate honor band at a National College Band Directors National Association conference, and they made the honor band. Let's have them stand, Brooklyn and Preston. So we're very proud of them. And not only did they get to meet Kataj, but they also met John Mackey as well. So they were very happy to hear that we were playing their music. So this is Household Hearts. Here's the poem that goes along with it. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It will always protect, trust, hope, and persevere. For you, love never fails. We hope you enjoy. So this next piece has an interesting story to it. A band director passed away, not necessarily an unusual occurrence. However, this piece was written in memory of him. His name was Chris. And what made him special is that he was a beginning band director. And I think they deserve all the thanks in the world, because they start all these musicians on their journey. And as musicians, we are always trying to find our voice, not our literal voice, but our musical voice. And so that's why the title came from, To Create a Voice. That was Chris's mission, is to lead children, to let them find their musical voice. So the piece is kind of interesting because it's all based on beginning band motives. It starts with a trombone solo that sings out do, the first note you learn, and then do re, and then do re mi, the first three notes that you learn. As we go on into the piece gets lively and celebratory as we celebrate Chris's life. There's a little hymn that's called Chris's Hymn, and then she takes do re mi and flips it on mi re do, which is hot cross buns, the first tune you learn as you're creating your voice. So it's really kind of a neat little piece, and we hope you enjoy it. This is To Create a Voice. longest time, most of the band world was considered Western civilization. So European military bands, American military bands, brass bands, and so forth. And so a lot of our music comes from that tradition. There is an organization known as the World Association for Symphonic Bands and Ensembles, otherwise known as WASB, that is a world grouping organization that I am a member of that does a lot of commissioning from different parts of the world. And this piece we're going to play for you next, Folk Song of Medu, was a winner of one of their composition competitions, and you'll see why. It's beautiful. Before, if we wanted to play something from the East, we would have to play something like Variations on a Korean Folk Song, where you take a beautiful Korean folk song like Are Rang, but then set it Westernly by John Barnes Chance. But here we get a Chinese folk song set by a Chinese composer using many, many Chinese colors, especially back in the percussion section. I think you're really going to enjoy this. This is Folk Song for Medu. I mentioned to you earlier about CBDNA, the College Band Directors National Association. This next piece was a commission by them of Valerie Coleman, a wonderful flute player and composer. It was a project that brought the composer into a small high school in Texas, in the little town of Roma. And she decided to take the play on words of Roma, Texas, and the Romany people. And so the song, the music, is about the Romany people. And what's cool about the Romany is they are a nation without a nation, so to speak, and you can find them all over the globe, including here in the United States. And so she grabbed music from those cultures and attributed the piece to the women of the Romany for keeping the stories alive as they are told down from generation to generation. So you're going to hear some Spanish Malagueña, you're going to hear some Argentinian tango, you're going to hear some American jazz, all kinds of different flavors thrown into here, representing different areas where the Romany live. We hope you enjoy this. This is Valerie Coleman's Roma.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Cincinnati. I'm a volume player and a trombone player here at the Symphony. How are we enjoying the concert tonight? That's what I like to hear. We have one more piece left, but before we play that one piece, we want to shout out our lovely seniors that are graduating this spring. So there are 4 seniors here that are crossing the stage in May, in 1 month from now, right? And we want to shout out them for everything that they have done, not within this program, but within this university itself. So we are very proud of the 4 of you guys. So when you hear your name, if you could stand up and then receive a little token of our appreciation by Dr. Towner. We are very excited to see everything that you guys do in the future, and we are sad to see you guys leave. So Brooklyn Butcher, Brianna Thompson, Preston Rayburn, and Hannah Howard. To say that we are so proud of you guys and we will miss you very much. This ensemble will not be the same without the 4 of them. And we, like I said, are very excited to see what you guys accomplish in the future. So our last piece is entitled El Danzón de la Finquita, arranged by Andre Cruz. It was originally composed by Ulpiano Duarte in 1940 and then arranged in 2022 by Andre Cruz. So this was originally written for a marimba, and this is a reflection of my mirror because my family is from Central America, and so was the original composer, and my grandparents always tell me all the time when they got married, my great-grandparents had a marimba outside waiting for them, and they danced the night away at the night of their wedding. So when Dr. Towner presented this piece to me, and he said this was originally a marimba piece, I immediately thought of my grandparents. So I dedicate this song for them and their marriage of 65 years this year, actually. So thank you guys for coming out to this concert. We hope you enjoyed it, and enjoy El Danzón. Thank you.
Thank you.